Hey everyone, and welcome to a fun and delightful lesson on the order of operations. We're doing review lesson number 2. This is going to get us into the review lesson for simplifying expressions. So it's a beautiful day outside. I'm outside. My son is swimming and my husband's cooking a pizza. So it's going to be a good night. If we get into it, you're going to say hi?
I'm not going to do it. Yes.
Okay. Cameo appearance by a 3-year-old. Here we go. When I do order of operations, I like to do, instead of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, I like to use the acronym GEMS, which is grouping symbols, and then we just go into exponents, multiplication or division, and then subtraction and addition. And then that kind of helps us remember that we do things from left to right, and that there's more than just parentheses in our grouping symbols. We also include the square root, which you will see next year in 8th grade, and we also include brackets and braces, so it's not just parentheses. So that's why I like to use the word grouping. So in our practice examples, we have some pretty nice, easy integers that we won't really need to use calculators for, but your practice homework or your practice work, you'll have some integers and rational numbers. So just make sure that you're following the same rules and you should get the right answer. So I am going to start with, I think this is yellow. Yep. I'm going to start with our grouping symbols. And inside of our grouping symbols, we also need to do the order of operations. So, and because this is a review lesson and you already know how to do this, we know that we multiply before we add. So I am going to move myself here. And I am going to do this 3 times 2 equals 6, and then 6 plus 19 equals 25. So now I'm going to rewrite this whole sentence up here at the top and plug in 25 for where we've got this grouping symbol right here. So I'm going to zoom in so I can get a little bit nicer handwriting. And we're going to rewrite the whole thing. And I'm going to write it down here because I'm going to do the exponents piece next. So I have 8 squared plus 12 minus 25 plus 45 divided by 5 times 2. Okay. So now we've got this new one, and I'm going to go back through and I'm going to say, ask myself, do I have any more grouping symbols? And I don't. I've taken care of all of the grouping symbols, so now I can move on to exponents. When I move on to exponents, I can just look for the things that have the exponents. So I've got this piece right here, so I'm going to do just that piece. And 8 squared is the same thing as 8 times 8, so whoops. 8 times 8 is 64. So I'm going to replace this 64 with what I have in this green highlighted piece. I'm going to take this 64 and put it in right here and then rewrite my statement, and then I'm done with the exponents because I finished everything. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so I have a little bit nicer handwriting here. So we have 64 plus 12 minus 25 plus 45 divided by 5 times 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move into the multiplication or division, and it says that we need to figure out which comes first, multiplication or division. To do the operation that appears first, we're going to work from left to right. So we're going to just move from left to right. So as I go through and I look, and I go from left to right, I have an addition, and then I have a subtraction, and then I have addition, and then here's where I have that first piece of multiplication or division. So I'm going to do that piece first. I'm going to do that down here. So 45 divided by 5 equals 9. So this is going to get replaced with what is right there. And then I'm going to rewrite, so I have 64 have 64 plus 12 minus 25 plus 9 times 2. Now I'm going to go in and do any other multiplication or division. So if I go from left to right again, I have an addition, I have a subtraction, I have an addition, and then I have this multiplication piece here. So 9 times 2 is 18. So that is what's going to get replaced. We're going to replace this 18 with this right here. So I'm going to rewrite it down here so it's nice and easy to read. And I have 64 plus 12 minus 25 plus 18. Now I'm in the addition and subtraction, and the rules for addition and subtraction are the same. We go from left to right. So as I do this, I am just going to grab a different color here, sorry. We're just gonna start with this. So 64 plus 12 is 76. Everything else just comes down. Minus 25 plus 18. And then I'm gonna grab a new color and I'm gonna do the same thing. 76 minus 25. I lost myself, there I am. Let's move me down. Okay. All right, so now I have 76 minus 25, that's 51 plus 18. Now we just finish up our problem. 51 plus 18 is 69. Let's go on and you can do some practice problems. We're gonna pause it each time. You do them, come back, check your work, check your answers. So, the first one that I'd like for you to do is this yellow one. I want you to pause it and come back. Check to make sure that your work matches my work. All right, so for the yellow problem, I ended up getting 30 as my final answer. So if you didn't get it, make sure you pause it and go through my work. If you did, move on. Let's move on to the blue problem. So we're gonna move on to the blue problem. Go ahead and pause it. Come back and check your work. I got the answer of 9. If you got the answer of 9, move on to the green screen. If you didn't, pause, check my work, and see what you've done wrong. Pause it now. I don't know what happened to my picture, but whatever, that's fine. I got the answer of 33 for the green question. If you did too, move on to the red question. If you didn't, make sure you pause it and check my work before you move on. I'm going to move along to the red question. Pause it now. For my last question, I got a final answer of 14. If you did not get that answer, first place you need to check is right in here, because this is a multiplication problem that came down to -10. If you did, congratulations, you're done. Make sure that you remember to go in and do your Pearson Realize practice for this lesson. Have a great day.